Okay, we learn our halacha for today. Today is Sunday of Parshas Bo, and the Chok, since it is Shavavim, it brings Rambam Hilchos Isurei Biah, Perek Chof Aleph, chapter 21 of the laws of forbidden relations, and he brings something very difficult to for a lot of people. But it's a halacha, so we have to at least know the halacha, know what we have to try to stay away from. And if chas v'shalom we nichshol, we have to know what to do tshuva for. And there's a lot of misinterpretations. It's called Biah Rambam in the rise derech Dvarim, shechibuk nashak derech taiva, banana b'kirv basar harizat leikem in a Torah. If someone has sexual contact that's not intercourse with someone who he's forbidden to be married to, whether it's a married woman, whether it's a relative that would be incestuous, a married woman would be adulterous, or whichever else is forbidden from the Torah, Anida also, the Zocher, whatever it is, or they're kissing and hugging in a way of lustful way, and they have enjoyment from being close to their bodies. How is that like him in a Torah? Such a person receives lashes is because he's violated a Torah prohibition. It's a lav, so it's not. A lot of people believe, that's only the Rabbanim. No, it's a Torah prohibition. Maybe it's not an Isur Kares, maybe it's not an Isur Skila, but nonetheless, it's a Torah prohibition, like eating treif. And even if it was only the Rabbanim, are we eating chicken with cheese together? But it's not midrabanan. It's midraisa. It's just as bad as eating chazer. It doesn't mean that if someone does this, they can go eat chazer, that they're not from anymore. Just they need to know what they have to do tshuva for. That's the big point of the Torah, is basically to humble us, to make us realize that we're sinners, and if we did something wrong, we admit that we did something wrong, and not try to justify our sins. So it says you should not follow all of the abominable practices that the Canaanites followed and the Egyptians followed. It says in Leviticus, furthermore, it says one should not come close, draw close, in order to gilui arayis, to uncover that which is a prohibited nakedness. What does it mean? That a person should not come close to doing things that could lead to adultery or incest and so forth. Meaning, these things are not allowed, and that's a Torah prohibition, not to come close. Next halach is and not only that, but if someone is known to do these things, is suspected that he actually violated the actual arayis. So it's very scary, right? So we have to be very careful to avoid this. Also, and to do tshuva if we're having trouble with it. Also, Adam likreis b'yadav v'raglav but limris b'einav lachsan arayis. Furthermore, when you're dealing with a woman who you're not allowed to marry, it's forbidden to make hand gestures or foot gestures, like it's playing footsie, I don't know, or to make eye hints with the eye. Like Groucho Marx, he would raise his eyebrows and stuff. To anyone that is considered right, a woman you're not allowed to marry. Or l'schaikim, you can't joke around with her. and you cannot have any levity around her, together with her. Furthermore, you can't smell her perfume, and it's also forbidden to look at her beauty. So these are rabbinical prohibitions, not biblical prohibitions, as opposed to actually touching in a way of pleasure is a biblical prohibition. So if someone does this on purpose, he receives lashes for insolence, for violating a rabbinical decree. And there's no difference between different parts of a woman's body. If you look at her little pinky finger, in order to have pleasure from looking at it, her beauty, it's just as if you looked at the most sexual places of a woman's body. Or even listening to the voice of a woman, you're not allowed to marry a woman who's married to someone else, or seem also relatives and so forth, particularly a woman who's married to someone else. And furthermore, it's forbidden to look at her hair. So we have to be very careful with all these things, because these are biblical prohibitions, and furthermore, stumbled in any of these matters, has to do tshuva, especially now it's the time of Shovavim, and it's the time of tshuva. It's very difficult to talk about these things, and I think part of that difficulty, the difficulty of listening to it, the difficulty of talking about it, is part of the tikkun. So we should be zeicha to be masakin whatever has been broken, and to be zeicha to before we fix the Yisod, and then we're zocha to Malchus, and Malchus based over to becoming the Mashiach, to kind of